Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through today's topic because we are unpacking something truly fascinating. Today, we're decoding the subtle relationship psychology from our source material to really understand the behavioral patterns of fading attraction. We're going to completely bypass that typical run-of-the-mill relationship advice and look strictly at the behavioral science of what actually happens when emotional energy shifts. So get ready, because we're going to look closely at these patterns together, and by the end of this, you are going to have a completely new framework for understanding these dynamics. Let me ask you something a bit uncomfortable right off the bat. Have you ever felt your energy shift before you actually saw any concrete proof? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those moments where the texts suddenly get just a little bit shorter. The laughs feel kind of forced. That usual warmth, it just cools off. Suddenly you feel like you're competing in a race that you didn't even know you signed up for. Well, that gut feeling is real, and today we're going to validate it by looking at the hard behavioral data.
So, let's start with Section 1, the unseen energy shift.
Our primary goal right out of the gate is to move entirely away from reactionary anxiety and step into a place of grounded, calm observation. You see, when emotional energy moves, it leaves clues, and we need to know exactly how to read them. A high-value focus means you watch for patterns, not just concrete proof. A lot of guys sit around waiting for a dramatic screenshot, a tearful confession, or some obvious smoking gun. But emotionally grounded men, they don't do that. They pay incredibly close attention to shifting behavioral patterns. They understand that feelings and attention start moving long before you can point to anything concrete in the physical world.
Section 2, when her attention drifts. Okay, let's dive into this. Because what exactly does it look like when her attention starts drifting? Well, the very first thing that changes is actually priority. Her attention will shift way before her actions ever do. Just look at the stark juxtaposition here between the old pattern and the new reality. In the old pattern, she was sending voice notes, good morning texts without you even prompting her, long, super engaged messages. But look at the new pattern. You're getting short replies, dry responses, delayed answers. Let's be real, a woman who is genuinely excited about you does not repeatedly forget to respond. This is a crystal clear indicator that the baseline has moved.
Beyond just the timing of the text, we see what the source material calls the quality drop. Even when she does reply, she doesn't ask follow-up questions. The energy just feels totally flat. Her availability becomes selective. Suddenly, you're being squeezed into tight little time slots because she's reordering her priorities. And crucially, she stops putting in independent effort. No more planning spontaneous dates or sending those random updates from her day. Always remember this fundamental rule of human behavior. People always make time for what truly excites them.
Now, I want to pause here for a second and make a really important distinction. You are looking for a new pattern, not a bad Tuesday. Please do not panic over a single off day. Everybody gets busy, right? Everybody experiences stress at work or in their personal lives. We are absolutely not looking to overanalyze a temporary mood. We are exclusively looking for a situation where low effort has become the new norm rather than the exception.
Moving on to Section 3, the comparison energy.
This comparison energy kicks in when another person enters her orbit and her brain starts subconsciously benchmarking. She might not even realize she's doing it, but as an observer, you will definitely feel it. And this brings us to a really fascinating psychological concept, unfamiliarity distortion. This is when the intense stimulation of a new person actually distorts the evaluation of a stable, familiar partner. This is so absolutely crucial to grasp. A new person isn't necessarily superior to you. They are simply unfamiliar, and that unfamiliarity creates a rush, a massive spike in stimulation, and that intensity grabs attention and completely distorts how she evaluates the stable, routine relationship she has with you. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it concisely reveals the 3 subconscious behaviors that expose relationship stagnation. So what does this comparison energy actually look like in practice? There are 3 clear signs. First up, critiquing small habits. Suddenly, things about you that were completely fine before are now somehow annoying to her. Second, emotional distancing. She pulls back slightly while she's subconsciously assessing the whole situation. And third, future ambiguity. Conversations about long-term plans suddenly become super vague or they're just avoided entirely. These signs expose stagnation incredibly fast. When you see those signs, you need to completely pivot your mindset. Don't ask, how do I beat him? Ask yourself, have I become too comfortable? Listen, you cannot control whether another human being compares you to someone else. Humans literally naturally compare. But you can control whether you are evolving. Comfort kills the tension that fuels attraction. So this is all about self-reflection, not some anxious competition.
That leads us right into Section 4, the independence talk.
Often, before any actual physical exit from a relationship happens, there's a very specific shift in language and verbal cues. And here it is, the classic phrase, "I just need space." Or maybe its cousin, "I need to focus on myself." Now, individually, these aren't always red flags, right? Sometimes growth does require autonomy. But when you hear these words paired with the decreased investment and that comparison energy we literally just looked at, well, a lot of men completely sabotage themselves here. They hear this phrase, they react with intense fear, and they overcompensate by pushing for clarity immediately.
To avoid that trap, we really need to redefine what space means in this specific behavioral context. Space here is a soft exit strategy. It's designed to create room for exploration without formally ending the relationship. Psychologically speaking, asking for space loosens the attachment between you two, and it reduces her accountability, basically reframing the dynamic from an us to a me.
But how do you actually know if it's just stress or something deeper? Well, here is the vital nuance you need to understand. With genuine space, her tone will still feel anchored. She's going to reassure you of the stability of the relationship while simply asking for some breathing room. But with restructuring space, the kind that signals a fading attraction, it's paired with a vague future, emotional distancing, and selective availability. Basically, she is building a bridge to widen the emotional gap.
Section 5. From analysis to action. So the crucial point is,
well, what do you actually do with all this information? Let's seamlessly shift from diagnosing the symptoms to our final prescription. Number 1, observe calmly without interrogating. Interrogation instantly lowers attraction and makes you look anxious. Number 2, increase your value immediately. Improve your life, sharpen your ambition, expand your world. Number 3, reduce emotional overavailability. If your presence feels steady but not desperate, she's going to be forced to recalibrate. And number 4, prepare for loss without panic. Guys, a relationship that can be easily disrupted by an outside presence was never deeply secure to begin with, and that is vital feedback for you, not a failure.
I really want this phrase burned into your memory. Clinging delays clarity, but calmness accelerates the truth. It's this massive psychological paradox. If she feels cornered and interrogated, she's going to defend herself and hide her true motives. But if she feels free, she will naturally expose herself through her behavior. Your calm detachment will bring the truth to the surface much, much faster than demanding answers ever could.
And that brings us to our final thought. I want to leave you with a direct, profound, mic-drop question directly from our source material to challenge any complacency you might be holding on to. Ask yourself honestly, if she met you today, in your current state, would she still choose you without hesitation? Use that question to stay focused, to keep evolving, and to remain empowered in your own life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.